If they make this a public thing and it's like IMVU, I'm out. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Why can't The Sims just be The Sims? I feel like this is also another major problem is The Sims is trying to be other games. It is trying to become something that it is not. The Sims is The Sims, and The Sims should just stay The Sims, you know, before they ruin it. We don't want that. Hey everyone, it's Matt and welcome back to the channel. There was actually a little bit of Project Rene news. I don't really want to know if I want to call it news per se, but there was a brand new article on The Sims' website about Project Rene and playtesting for Project Rene. So we're going to dive into that today and read that and see what that's all about. I don't know if they're revealing any new information. The official Sims team, I don't believe they share this on any of their social medias. I just kind of saw it on the website and noticed that no one was really talking about it, so we're gonna have a little discussion about that today. But honestly guys, a lot was revealed with Project Rene during the Sims Summit stream. We got prototype looks at the way that light is baked, and it looks really nice, but we have to remember it's prototype. This doesn't mean that this is exactly how it's going to be rendered in the game, but just seeing how good that looked was just, oh my gosh, it was so nice. And of course, seeing that they're really focusing on Sims showing and expressing their emotions and how they feel and the way they act while they're conversing, I love that. I feel like at least in those aspects, I'm excited and I have lots and lots of hope for Project Rene or The Sims 5 or whatever it's gonna be called. But of course, now I'm really concerned learning about the fact that this game is most likely going to launch free to play, judging by that job listing that was posted, and I'm very concerned about that, guys. Yes, free to play sounds nice. You don't have to pay any money to get the game and play the game, but if it is a free to play game, it usually means it is going to be absolutely riddled with microtransactions at every turn. And when I say microtransactions, I'm not talking expansion packs and stuff packs and kits. Those things might come to it, who knows? But what I'm talking about are like mobile microtransactions, the ones that you have on the mobile games that are free to play, where you could just be playing and then you get a pop-up that says, do you want to add a juicer into your kitchen? Pay $3 now and download it. And they might even introduce limited time stuff that pops up in the game that you literally purchase with real money to add into your games. And if you don't purchase it by a certain date, it goes away. I can totally see them doing that, because then that gives you an incentive to want to actually spend the money, because you know that if you don't, it goes away. I guess it kind of works like certain Fortnite skins or whatever, because Fortnite works the same way. Fortnite is a free to play game with microtransactions riddled throughout. And honestly, just in my opinion, I don't see The Sims 5 or The Sims in general as a game that can thrive on that marketing dynamic. It just doesn't work in my opinion. I don't see how it could possibly work. But of course, without further ado, let's just jump straight into this blog post here. It's titled Project Rene, Playtesting the Next Generation of The Sims. Learn how the team behind Maxis's evolution of The Sims is involving fans in the development process. We knew that there were already playtesting sessions where players got to play, and I think that's how we got some of those first leaked screenshots and videos. It was probably coming from the people that played it. Yeah, not good. And honestly, after that whole debacle went down, I was really starting to think they weren't going to do playtesting for this either again or for a while. I guess they're still looking into it. They're probably going to be doing it again. I feel like they should honestly just let everyone playtest. They should just let everyone playtest and play certain minor aspects of the game. The more people they have testing this thing, the more feedback they're going to get, and the more feedback that they're going to get, the better they can make the game. And honestly, we're at a point now where they need to be listening to us. They need to be listening to the players, and because they're early in development, this is a good time for them to just completely scrap whatever the heck they're doing with this marketing dynamic and redo it, because I feel like them doing free to play riddled with microtransactions and stuff throughout the game, basically operating as a mobile game, it is going to kill The Sims. It is going to destroy The Sims, at least in my opinion.
Here at Maxis, we are all about our community. Year after year, fans of The Sims continue to amaze us with their creativity, their insight, and their passion for our games. So, as we began brainstorming imagining what the next The Sims experience might look like, there was no doubt in our minds that the community should really be a part of the development process.
And this is exactly what I'm saying. I'm happy that the community is. I'm happy that we are, because we're now learning things. And I wish they would have just told us instead of us finding out in a job posting. I don't know if they expected us to find that. They should have known better if they publicly put that in a job posting that this was going to be free to play. But I would have rather them just have already announced it officially that this was intended to be free to play, because the opinions are loud, guys. The opinions are loud. And if they truly want this game to be the best it can be, if they want it to be successful, they need to listen to us. They need to listen to what we're saying. And I know a lot of us are literally telling them, please do not do this. Give us a full fleshed out base game that we have to pay for. That way we don't have every single little tiny possible thing divided up into a microtransaction that is built into the game. If you're playing the game and you want one hair and you have to pay for that hair, I don't want none of that. Yes, the packs suck, and I feel like the current dynamic with the packs kind of does feel like a scam, but this is literally objectively 10 times worse. I'm sorry, it is so much worse. Yes, you can play the game for free and not buy a single thing, but what are you getting out of the experience of the game if it doesn't really have much there to begin with, if there really is no substance? And if they follow this path in order to have any sort of substance, you are going to have to ditch out money constantly on little tiny things. I do not want to see that.
We knew from the beginning that wherever we decided to take The Sims next would need to be a journey we took with our players, says VP of Creative for The Sims, Lindsay Pearson.
Okay, Lindsay Pearson, this is your time to hear us now. Please listen to us. And honestly, a lot of people are upset, and if they just ignore us, then it kind of confirms that they aren't listening. So I hope to be proven wrong.
Whether it's generating ideas, reacting to their feedback, or putting actual software in their hands, it's important we find ways to share our goals and our vision as we go. Direct player feedback has been one of the most valuable tools we've used at Maxis, adds production director Stephanie Caligari. It only makes sense for us to evolve this experience for both the players and the development team. As a result, very early on in development for Project Rene, the next evolution of The Sims, the team decided to begin collecting input from members of the community.
Which resulted in... I'm sorry, this is not funny. This is not funny. This is not funny. Honestly, I could see why they were probably a little frustrated, because it's like they trusted the community, then the community went and leaked everything. It was so bad. Or I don't know, maybe it was intentional, but I feel like it was intentional because a lot of stuff leaked. But you know what? Honestly, I'm not even like mad about it, because I feel like it's for the best. They're collecting input from their small group of people, and then now that information has gotten out, and now they're collecting feedback from a lot of people because everyone is seeing it. And honestly, I don't see how that could be a bad thing. Yeah, they probably wanted to keep a lot of things locked up tight, but honestly, if we want this game to be good, if we want it to be the best that it could possibly be, I kind of want everyone to know about everything they're doing so far in development. It's a lot better than them keeping it locked up tight, maybe making poor judgment calls, and then when they announce and release this thing, everyone's like, what? We don't want that. That doesn't make The Sims better. That's not an evolution, that's a de-evolution. You know, so I feel like in a way, I guess it's not so much of a bad thing, at least in my opinion.
In the fall of 2022, we released a small private playtest that evaluated interior design, furniture customization, and collaborative interior design on mobile and PC, says game director Grant Rodiak. You can actually see video of this in our first episode of Behind the Sims.
Small private playtest. They thought. I'm sorry, this is not funny. I honestly have some really strong opinions on Grant, especially relating to The Sims 4. I'm not gonna go too deep into that right now, but honestly, I don't want him anywhere near Project Rene, if I'm gonna be honest with you. And that's just a personal preference, just because of certain aspects of The Sims 4 and how they turned out. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's continue.
This apartment customization playtest featured only a tiny slice of what's planned for the whole project, but it was a slice chosen specifically to test a huge variety of different systems in order to see how they interact with each other. One of the challenging things about testing The Sims, Grant says, is that it is a highly customizable experience with a high degree of interactivity. Sims need to be able to sit on the couch, prepare meals, go dancing, chat with a friend, or read a book, which means that when you customize a couch, say, or a shirt, that also factors into how Sims move and consider their environments. So this let us test a wide variety of critical experiences and technology for the overall project.
And from what we've seen, the technology looks pretty freaking cool, guys. Like, I mean, in one of the first looks here, if you don't remember, and I've talked about this a couple of times now, the fact that you can start building and start furnishing a house or an apartment or whatever, because it is confirmed that apartments are coming with whatever this is, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, I'll give them that. You can start on your computer or you can start on one device, and then you can just grab your phone and log on and go finish it in the kitchen if you're cooking, or in the bathroom, or if you go to a friend's house or whatever. The fact that you can do that is really, really, really cool, but then that starts making me think of other things. This is probably gonna end up being an online only thing, especially after that job posting that we saw yesterday, you know, with online systems and all of that stuff. I'm just worried it's gonna end up like SimCity 2013. That's all that I'm worried about, and I hope that that is absolutely not the case. We already have so many issues with the EA app as it is. Now, can you imagine adding a game that works like this with an app like the EA app that doesn't work properly for a lot of simmers still to this day? To me, it just sounds like a nightmare in the making, and I want to be as far away from that as I possibly can. But speaking positively, like the customization stuff that we saw was really freaking cool, and they kind of show it a little bit here. Like, there's gonna be a lot of customization with this, customization that we really don't have at all in The Sims 4. So at least I can say that I'm looking forward to that.
And the object space and physical space are key tools to help us and players tell stories, says Stephanie. So the key innovations that we tested help with decisions regarding other creative spaces, like our character creator. We may have only tested a slice, but we're looking at the way we approach the interface and creative tools with an eye toward a more holistic user experience.
All right, so this next section here, expect the unexpected.
Of course, putting together a playtest this early in development had its own unique challenges. While we regularly do user experience testing with smaller groups of 8 to 10 players, says Lindsay, creating a larger playtest for hundreds or thousands of players was a very different experience.
Okay, so they confirm here that this was definitely, even though they, I guess, considered it a smaller playtest, this had hundreds of people, which honestly, I can see exactly why things leaked. That's a lot of people. If it was 8 to 10 players, the chances of things leaking was probably very low, but I guess maybe they expected it then, which I honestly hope that they did.
Project Rene supports both mobile and PC experiences, Grant says, which dramatically expands the complexity of testing. We need to support a wide variety of experiences: simulation, socialization, creative tools for furniture and interior design, creative tools for clothing and characters, plus new social experiences. We also had to figure out ways for players to connect without all the social experience features in place, like party voice chat and find a friend, says Stephanie. We had to make sure players could actually find each other and play together. Plus, we had to figure out things like how to even deliver the builds to the testers.
I'm so excited for the online aspect in certain ways. Like, it's gonna be nice connecting with friends. I just hope it's not like a public thing like IMVU, because I can just see that becoming so toxic. I really hope they don't go that route.
Once the logistics were hammered out, it was time to fire up the test. But as eager as the team was to test specific mechanics, they also knew that for a small-scale test like this, it was important to follow where the players led. We've always had a collaborative relationship with our fans, and we bring that to any playtest, Lindsay says. So we expected to see lots of feedback, we expected to iterate, we expected to see lots of speculation about what more could come. I think preparing for this ahead of time put us in a very open, learning mindset.
Again, it might suck for them. I don't know if this sets them back. I hope it doesn't, because I hope they've prepared for it. But the leaks, I just see it as a good thing. Let everyone see what's going on. Let everyone comment on what's going on. Most importantly, let everyone give you feedback. Use that, you know? You might see that as a shitty situation, but use that as a way to build this future product, this future game, this evolution of The Sims, next generation that they're calling it, and just make it better, make it the best that it can be.
You do have to listen to what your players are telling you, says Grant. For example, an earlier version of the test revealed that players were really struggling to find certain tools, they just weren't clicking the buttons. So we rearranged the layout and provided more information and saw a dramatic increase. So it's all an iterative process.
And he's right, you do have to listen to what your players are telling you. He says that, but I feel like a lot of times they don't, but I mean, they're gonna say that, obviously. And I do wanna say, you know, if your players are telling you not to make it free to play, I think you should listen, but I have this feeling that that's just how it's gonna be. They're just dead set on that. And it's probably above the developers. It's probably EA. I'm sure EA's like, this is how we want the next gen Sims game to be, so make it work, you know? Like, you have no choice. Like, we really don't know what's going on behind the scenes, who's calling the shots, who's making the decisions, but a decision that big, I kind of feel like is coming from really, really high up, and maybe they don't have a say, or maybe they do, I don't know. I do like really remember being super excited to like build and customize and decorate with friends, like being able to customize things yourself and seeing your friend or whoever's playing with you also changing things at the same time. Like, I love that. That is something that I feel like is really, 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 really cool. All right, here is the next and final part. It's titled Only the Beginning.
And the team plans for that process to continue through more community playtests in the future. Now, understand that Project Rene is still in the very early stages of development, but even at this early stage, the lessons learned have been extremely valuable.
I would hope so.
This is how the best games are made, Grant shares, working hand in hand with players. It's such a valuable tool that will help us make Project Rene truly special. But it is a long, involved process. Apartment customization was our first test, but it will not be our last, Stephanie agrees. We've already learned so much from it. Being able to talk to players and get feedback so early is very scary, but it's also very exciting.
It is very scary, because what if they didn't like anything that was being shown and you kind of had to rebuild from the ground up? You know, I mean, I guess that's always a possibility, but like, what if nothing worked right? Or like, what if the players didn't like anything that was being shown and they got that feedback from everyone? I'm sure that was definitely not the case, clearly from what they're saying here, but I still think it's such a good thing that they're doing this. Could you just imagine if there was none of this and we didn't know anything about Project Rene, The Sims 5, or whatever it's called at all until they announced it? And then what if it just happened to be something that people just didn't like, didn't want to play? Like, that would probably be the end of The Sims, honestly. I really feel like they would kill the franchise off. Not saying that that still isn't possible with them sharing early looks, especially if they don't listen to the feedback, but like, it's just a general concern of mine, considering the trust that players have in EA at this state. I feel like is really starting to dwindle out.
You can learn so much before sending the project out into the wild, says Lindsay. Not only are we getting feedback on the fly from our players, but it also gives us the chance to tell the story of how we make these experiences, both to our audiences today and to future audiences of tomorrow. There is so much work remaining for Project Rene, though, Grant says. We still haven't shared our simulation experiences or character and clothing customization, not to mention new versions of apartment customization and additional social play experiences. All of this will be slowly stood up, shared, tested, tweaked, enhanced, reduced, and we intend to develop it hand in hand alongside our players.
So not really like any new information per se, just more on like what they're doing behind the scenes and what they plan to do, and just in terms of playtesting, which I guess it makes sense for what the article was titled. We really kind of got a bunch of new looks during the Inside Max's stream, but they also mention here new versions of apartment customization and additional social play experiences. So what else could they be adding? This like really makes me worried. God, I really hope they keep it as like a friend invite thing. If they make this a public thing and it's like IMVU, I'm out. I can't do that. I'm sorry. The Sims is not IMVU. We already have an IMVU. We do not need another IMVU. Why can't The Sims just be The Sims? I feel like this is also another major problem, is The Sims is trying to be other games. It is trying to become something that it is not. The Sims is The Sims, and The Sims should just stay The Sims, you know, before they ruin it. We don't want that. Or at least I don't want that. I don't want to speak for everyone. I know not everyone feels that way. Share your thoughts below on this, guys. This is so interesting, and it of course makes me nervous. It makes me feel a lot of things. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how this is going to evolve. I want to have hope, but I'm nervous because, I mean, look at how The Sims 4 launched. Look at how SimCity launched. It's like, you can see why there's a trust issue, right? Like, I'm scared. I really don't trust them. I don't know what this could be. This could end up turning out to be the best thing ever, or this could be a major disappointment and be a major flop. We don't know. And the honest truth behind it is, like I've said, if this does turn out to be a major flop, there probably won't be any more Sims games. This will probably kill the franchise, and I really don't want to see that. Share your speculation, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. How do you want Project Rene to turn out in its final form? And honestly, I can't wait to see more like early playtesting stuff. I hope they share more with us, because even though they're getting feedback from people, I feel like everyone needs to know what's going on and how this is developing, because they're gonna get better feedback feedback hearing from everyone than from a smaller group of people, you know? But share your thoughts below. I love you guys so much. Take care and happy simming.